So I guess it is that time of the year again where I make like 4 or 5 videos about random stuff and then I disappear for a few months. So I don't even know where to start on this one. God damn, I don't even know where to start on this one. As you can see by the little triangle here, I went out and I bought a 1989 FXR Super Glide. Yeah, not a whole lot. As you can see, there's currently no wiring harness in it, and a water bottle full of oil. Yeah, I am currently redoing all of it. I'm just doing some test runs here to see how I gotta cut these cables, but yeah, basically, got an assortment of parts laying out everywhere. Basically, I got this. There were some different handlebars on it, and it looked like somebody had done a very nice hack job of putting some cable extensions on. I'll probably put up a picture or something to where you can see where I don't even think they were soldered. They're literally just like stripped, tied together, and then electrical taped up. And so that would probably turn this thing into a fire hazard very quickly. So I decided something had to be done. Well, it all started when I wanted to put this headlight in the headlight bucket, and I was met with this. This picture here is what the stock headlight bucket of an FXR looks like. And yeah, I was not very happy with that, especially with this headlight that goes basically to the back of it. So there's no way I was gonna be able to fit this headlight in there with all those wires. And I decided, that's interesting. Maybe I'll just redo the front end of this wiring harness, since the riser cables were kind of messed up and I wanted to untangle that mess in the headlight bucket. Well, lo and behold, like an hour later, I ended up with the entire wiring harness in my hands, and I had a decision to make. Do I remake it how I want to, or do I restart the much better hardware and wires and a much better design too? And lo and behold, it has ended me up here, the Moto Gadget M unit. Pretty excited about this. As you can see, I've started the process of, the wiring and whatnot. I've got this going. I started running the wires for the controls on the handlebars here, and this is basically as far as I've gotten. I still have to buy some plugs and everything and figure out, where everything is going to end up, how many wires I need for the headlight or the indicator lights that'll be right there. Thankfully, it is still some white stuff all over the ground here. So I do have some time to work on this thing. And it is not very pressing that I get this wiring done like immediately. Yeah, I don't know where necessarily I'm going to go from here, or if this is going to turn into a video, but I'm going to try and document kind of my progress with this. And yeah, I guess we'll just see where it goes from here. So yeah, next up for this, these are all the power leads. I just got to tie all my grounds into one wire. So here we've got the control wires, and then here are the turn signal wires. I'm actually only going to end up using these two. So that's the power and ground for the amber, and then this is for a running light, which I like the look of it being off. So I think I'm just going to chop that wire, and I'll end up with 6 wires on each side, I'm pretty sure. And then all of my grounds will just tie into one, and then it'll go back to just the terminal on the M unit. I have to order some plugs, and then I have to make a decision on if I want the plugs to end up right here or somewhere under the tank. And then that'll tell me where I need to cut all these wires down. The next day, and we got some things in. First off, I'll start with this bike diode kit. Basically what this does is it takes 2 leads, and it has 2 directional diodes, and it splices them into one cable. And what I'll be using this for is, instead of 2 turn signals, I'm only gonna have 1 that blinks when either of those are blinking. So basically what I'll do is I'll draw out a little diagram on how this works. So if I got my right turn signal and my left turn signal, and then my indicator light. So this is gonna ground, that's getting ground, and then there's power. So basically I need to splice off power from this. This also gets ground, by the way. So basically what's going to happen is those are going to meet like that. Both of these are going to supply power to my indicator light, but we're going to get, sorry about this filming, it's atrocious. Each one's gonna get a little diode. So it can go in this side, but it will not allow power back out that side. And same with this. If power's coming in here, it'll light this up, but then it won't go back and then turn this blinker on. But basically this will save me to where I can still have functionality of both turn signals while only having one indicator light. So that's what this little guy does. I'll splice my 2 wires into these, and then this will be my output wire. And then I also just grabbed a heat shrink pack. I was using some of this stuff, but I like the black ones better. So I just got a random assortment here. Has a bunch of different sizes that'll be nice. And then also went up and picked a Harbor Freight wire stripper. Yeah, so these, it'll do the different sizes. So that'll be nice. Nice upgrade from these guys up here that I was using before. These old clunkers. Oh yeah, look at that, dude. That's terrible. That's an antique right there, if I've ever seen one. So next up, one of these wires, I believe the yellow one, is getting cut back at the switch here. And then the rest of these are gonna get tied in, and those will run as the ground wire. I got these tied up right now to kind of show this is gonna get some heat shrink, and then this is kind of where everything ties back in, right here. So yeah, I guess we'll get these off, get them stripped back and soldered up, and get this guy cut off. And then these should be good to go back in the housings. I just gotta do the other side. So I've kind of just split that black wire in the middle, and I've stripped that off, and now I'm just gonna solder that joint up, splice that guy, and then it'll meet with this green one eventually, and then it'll all just get sent back on one ground back to the M unit. A little fast forward in time here. I've gone through and I've buttoned everything back up inside of the switch harnesses, and I've got everything coming through one nice shrink wrap that fits up in the notch in the handlebars here. So yeah, I've got all the grounds for all the switches tied back into one black lead now. And so now I'm gonna take the turn signal wires and I'm gonna tap this black into the ground, and then I'm gonna solder on an extension and then chop off this white wire because I don't want the running lights. And then all of these will be ready to go into some plugs that I ordered last night. And my dad actually saved me a ton of money because I was literally just gonna buy some Deutsch connectors off of Amazon, but he said go to a site called RS Electronics, and you do have to buy everything separate to where you're buying the housings and the little wedge locks and terminals all separate. But I mean, he probably saved me $100 on all the plugs I was gonna buy. So once those show up, we should be able to get these pinned and into some plugs, and then I'll either do the taillight stuff, get that into a plug, which will end up right there, and then we get to start on all the other fun stuff, like with the engine harness, like your neutral, oil light, rear brake, switch. So yep, we'll get started on all this, but good progress today. Okay, got both of these soldered up. And now I'm gonna shrink tube up to here or somewhere like that. And then I'll find a place to tie this ground into the main ground coming down from the controls. So now we just gotta tap this ground in, and we should be good and complete for the handlebar harnesses. Hopefully this can pick it up pretty good. I have a very jerry-rigged camera set up right now, so I'm hoping that this looks all right. See that? Boom. Yeah, check this out. 2x4. And then I had literally have my, take this, boom, put it right there. So then the phone points down. You ain't never seen nothing like that before. Okay, last thing here before I wrap it up. I just soldered up the turn signals, so I'm gonna get those mounted back up. But as you can see, I have it all the way ran through the notch there, how it'll be when it's finally done. So then I just gotta figure out where I'm gonna tap into there, and then I'll actually loom this down enough to where it'll go into the plugs, and then these two will be finished. And as you can see here on these, I've chopped off the white wire. You can still see little remnants in there, but got it heat shrinked up and the extensions put on. So yeah, these are also ready to go too. All right, it's Christmas time at the household today. Got a bunch of packages in, so I guess we'll do a little unboxing here. Let's see, what do we got here? First, this is a tool for Deutsch connectors. One end is basically just like a screwdriver, flat end, for getting the little pins out, and then this side is like a little hook for getting the wedge locks out for the actual connectors. So I guess we'll unbox this real quick. It's a flat end right there, and then there's a little hook on that side too. In box number 2, and it's the barrel connectors for the Deutsch plugs. So these guys are a little barrel instead of stamped, and they'll give a way better connection than the little stamped connectors. So I think this is 60 pairs here. Which will be more than enough for what I'm doing. I think I'm only going to end up needing like 36 or 30 pairs or something like that. This is the actual crimp tool for this. I had to buy a special little tool that has a little round opening instead of just a little, notches for the stamp connectors. All right, with those aside, we've got all my individual plugs here. I went to RS America, or RS Electronics, whatever it's called. And yeah, I had to buy everything individually. So like all the plugs, all the wedge locks, all the connectors. But I mean, from what I can see, this all looks like super high quality, and it was a great price too. Shipping kind of sucked, but I mean, like most of these I got for less than $1 each. So here's all my 6-plug male ends. Let's see. I think that's a 3-plug male, or 3-plug female, I'm sorry. Let's see, we got 8-plug male wedge locks. Here's another 3-plug male. Wedge locks. And so yeah, all this stuff I had to buy individually, but all things said and done, the subtotal was like $26, which was awesome because I was about to buy all this stuff on Amazon and it was going to be like $100. So definitely a big shout out to my dad for recommending me this site. He saved me a ton of money on all this stuff. So I guess we'll need at least 2 of these today for finishing up the handlebar connectors. And then everything else I'll probably just leave in the packaging so it looks like it's all packaged up really nice. First things first, before any of this, I got the wires, I got all the housings and stuff butted up next to each other, so this is going to be the final place of where all the wires come out. So I just got to get the turn signals tied into here. So I'll get, this line up in there, and then I'll tie this ground in with the ground from here. And then they'll be ready to actually go into the plugs. I think what I'm just going to end up doing is have them go long enough, and then all the connections will just be made in here behind the headlight bucket. So that if I wanted for some reason to take any of this off, I wouldn't have to take off the tank. Just got to reach behind the headlight and then unplug everything right there. Check it out, all spliced in. Okay, it's decision time. I've got all these kind of routed in the length that I want to where they're gonna end up right here. So yeah, I know I just gotta do the final choice and figure out where I'm gonna cut these for the plugs. So yeah, when I'm back, I'll have these down to size and they'll be ready to get crimped on. As you can see, there's a little viewing hole in that, and I don't quite have it to the end. So I'm just gonna take a little more off here. There, we'll try that now. And I like that a lot better. I probably I could go just slightly smaller, but this that part of the insulation is going to be inside of the actual plug itself. I'm gonna just put this in here. All right, give her a little tug test, and I'd say that is a really good crimp. And then you just push this in until you hear a little click. Boom, and then it's on the other side there. Nice. Okay, we'll try this. Okay, that guy's not coming off. We're gonna have to double down on this guy here. Tug test, all good. And we got the last one here. Boom, twist that, double down. Should have all the conductors in there. And crimp, there we go, last one. Everything should be able to go into the plugs. Put these in any which way. Okay, perfect. So we got all those in, and then we just put our little wedge. Until we hear a click. We got this side done, and yeah, I'm just gonna go through and speed through the other side now. Perfect. Okay, well, as far as the handlebar controls go, other than, you know, tidying this up with some heat shrink and some loom, these are good to go. And with these done, we can either start on the taillight next, which is probably what I'll do, or the bike side harness, which is going to be fun. There's still some more in preparation I have to do for that, but I'd say this is probably a good point to wrap up this video. So I appreciate everybody who's watching. We're actually coming up on 100 subscribers. I think as of the last time I checked, we have like 94. So that's pretty cool for only doing like 2 videos a year. But yeah, there will definitely be more videos coming about this FXR build. I'm really stoked to get that out on the road, seeing as it's probably going to be riding season here in about a month and a half. So yeah, I'm just entering the final push to getting this done. And this is certainly great progress. That'll motivate me to keep her going. So yeah, go check out all my Instagram stuff, my powder coating stuff. I'll have all that stuff in the description down below. But for now, guys, I'll see you later. Thanks, everybody.